Wait up!
Spike! It's Spike, and he's wearing the coat.
Hey everybody, this is episode 96 of Revisiting Sunnydale. I am Camila.
I'm Marcella.
And we are about to have an intervention. So, please like our Facebook page, Revisiting Sunnydale, and follow us on Twitter at Back2Sunnydale. Rate and review us on these platforms and follow the show, subscribe to the show, and all that jazz on iTunes, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Player FM. So, I guess we're just going to dig right in, just jump right in there.
We probably need an intervention on how much we love this episode.
Yeah. Or just the show, just the whole fandom in general.
In this Spike bubble that we live in,
Yep.
This is top 5.
Yeah, I would say so. And what's funny is that I never remember this one by name. And I'm always like, oh, intervention, what's that one about? I was like, oh, yes, it's that one.
It's curly hair Spike.
It's that one, yes. When he went natural.
And they were like, you don't need the gel today.
Nah, we appreciate the natural look on old Spiky. Original air date. Okay, Intervention, Season 5, Episode 18. I got notes today. I'm prepped. Correct notes. Original air date, April 24th, 2001. Written by Jane Espenson and directed by Michael Gershman. A weary Buffy seeks to regain focus by embarking a quest with the First Slayer. Spike cavorts with his very own Buffy bot. That's a very polite way to put it. And Glory instructs her minions to spy on Buffy's friends in the hopes of ascertaining the key's true identity. So we got our regular cast of characters as our important guest stars. Amber Benson. Is she a guest star now, or is she in the opening credits?
She's not in the opening credits.
That's right. She was never, she had
not
one
until the episode.
Yeah, when it all falls down. Okay, Amber Benson is Tara McClay. Charlie Weber as Ben, Claire Kramer as Glory, and my new Facebook buddy Adam Bush as Warren.
You know, when I read that, I thought it meant fuckboy for a second, and I was like, haha. And I was like, no, that means Facebook. And slightly creeped out when I was like, oh, Warren.
Yeah, I was like, okay, like we have several friends in common. Like, sure, let's see what happens. And he accepted it and was like, okay, so there hasn't been any interaction yet, but okay.
It's mostly his role in Empire that just...
Oh, God. So skeevy.
So skeevy.
So disgusting. Yeah. It's...
I would take 1,000 Warrens over that.
Oh, God. That was so bad. Oh, my God. Yeah, and that's... Oddly enough, that's the image that always pops up now when I think of him. It's the first one in mind. All right. So, in this episode, we start off with Buffy and Dawn trying to find their new normal.
Yeah.
And, Giles is hanging out and helping wash dishes and stuff.
And I love that Buffy's picking on Dawn, saying, go get plates from your room before they have fur. And she's like, that one time. And we've all been there.
Oh, yeah. There's been something that we found under a bed in a closet.
Or just on the nightstand next to you. Because how many coffee cups can you possibly stack up?
A lot.
Before you're like, take the
11.
shit downstairs. Yeah. You're like, where's my Buffy? In my office or by my bed.
Yeah, it's terrible. Dan, he leaves around half drunken bottles of water around, or just whatever beverage is like.
I'm bad about leaving like this much, like that amount of coffee in a cup.
I'm good for that.
And then for like a day. And then you go back and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it gets real crusty, real filmy and nasty. But yeah, like when you get to that point, like that inch.
I don't want it.
It's real cold. It's just real.
It's real nasty.
It's not it's not as delightful as it was before.
And yet I like cold coffee. Not like that.
No. There's a difference between purposefully cold coffee and it's been out and you've been sipping on it for 5 hours.
Right.
That's not the same. So Giles thinks it's time for Buffy to start training again. But Buffy is not ready to rush back into it because she has some concerns.
She's feeling real disconnected. She can't properly show her emotion to those that she loves. She tends to tell Giles that she loves him, and it's super creepy.
It's just like, I love you. I love you. I love you. It feels weird. He's like, well, I mean, I guess if you say it like that, yeah. It's going to be weird. But she points out to the fact that I guess she hasn't really cried for her mom, and that she was terrible to Riley. Yes.
It's like, but you did cry. You
Yeah.
cried a lot with Dawn just
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
Y'all sobbed on the
You
floor.
guys had a real decent breakthrough
Yeah.
there.
And Dawn's probably thinking, guess that didn't matter for anything either.
So we're just not gonna. Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
Okay.
Clearly, we're not as connected as I want to be.
And she's like, Buffy, if you need to do this for you,
Yes.
you know, because Giles suggests that she go out of town and do this little ritual thing, but it means leaving Dawn behind.
Like overnight.
Which, how come? We just found out last week she has a sleeping bag.
Yeah. I don't understand why she wouldn't be able to come because
What did Giles do overnight?
he just hung out.
Right. So you couldn't take Dawn camping? She probably would have loved it. S'mores all around.
It probably would have made for a much more interesting quest,
Right.
but sure. And also Buffy points out that maybe being the perfect Slayer means that she is too hard to love at all.
Oh.
And then she also likens she brings up Angel too and somebody else. I forget.
And you know, a slight part of us is like, boo hoo. Boo hoo.
I'm like, this is your problem for this week. You're gonna be
Really?
concerned about this. Like, I don't think it's a real problem.
No, it's not.
I think you're okay.
Then we shift focus a little to Spike.
But wait a minute. She tries to have another moment with Dawn on the couch, and she's like, Dawn, I love you. And she starts to get all I love you and with her. And Dawn's like, okay, getting weird. Buffy points out, weird love is better than no love.
Is it?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
I beg to differ.
And we cut to
Weird love. Yep. A lot of weird love.
Spike gets a new toy. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, does Warren make these with his own hands, or does he outsource this? Does he
I think he makes
put
them.
together the schematics and everything?
No,
and
I think he
designs it?
makes it. I don't know where he's getting the plastic molds.
Yeah,
and
what is
the
this,
machinery?
What does this workshop look like? It's just in his parents' basement.
I
that
guess
he's
so.
doing this?
And is nobody checking on him?
Nobody
No.
wonders why. Oh, okay,
Nope.
sure.
Where's he getting his supplies? Surely he should be on some watch list.
Oh, absolutely. None of this stuff is regular.
Nope.
None of this is a normal.
Spike's looking over his new toy, and he thinks it looks a bit plasticine. And she does. She looks a
A
little...
little shiny.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up.
Oh, she's so cute. I prefer the Buffy bot. And it's funny that Jane, the writer, Espenson, wrote this particular episode, particularly just to see Sarah Michelle Gellar as the Buffy bot,
Oh, really?
which is kind of adorable. And she is adorable.
She is.
She's super cute.
She absolutely sells it, and I appreciate it.
and
it's,
right away, she jumps on Spike.
oh, Spike. And he's like, oh, it's a satisfied customer. He's into it now. He gets it.
Yep. And Warren creeps off to his
Wherever.
little hole again.
Right.
And we don't see him.
No, that's it. He's gone. He packs up and leaves. So Glory now knows that the key is human, and her plan is to find out who amongst Buffy's friends is new and who she treats special.
Yes, because as a reminder, Ben has loose-ass lips. And instead of just walking away from his slip of the tongue last week, or a few episodes, what's it last?
I think it was last week, yeah.
Instead, he's just like, no.
No, I'm not going to do this with innocent. Shoo.
And Jinx is better. He's all healed up and...
Because Ben didn't finish the job. You
finished the job.
whatever, dude.
How do you not know this?
I know. 2 taps.
So the minions now have a new plan. They need to find out who the key is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Giles takes his sporty little red car off to the desert, where apparently everything happens in California in this desert. I think Bill and Ted happened in this desert. Star Trek happened in this desert. They only have one desert? Is that?
I guess. One desert that's close enough to civilization, maybe?
And yet cold enough to wear 3 layers, Buffy?
That's a lot of layers. It looks hot
as hell.
Right
And
now.
they're both wearing turtlenecks, I think. Like
Yeah.
Giles has one on too. Or at least a high collar.
Yeah, I mean, I know I hear that deserts get cold at night, but it's like...
It's day.
It's high noon right now.
Yes.
They're
I can kind of see a shimmering happening off of the...
There's a lot of heat.
And dark colors. If they were light, I could maybe understand, but no.
But then also, it's brought to our attention that nobody packed any food or water.
Nope.
Or anything.
Nope.
Just gourd and twigs.
I don't get it.
I understand you're there for a quest, but let's talk about the quest for natural survival.
Right.
Just like, she's still human.
Right. You might want to at least give her some water.
At the very least.
Because we don't know how far she's got to wander.
Right.
She's just supposed to wander into the desert until...
She knows when to not.
I guess. Which for me at 10 steps, is this, it is hot. I didn't properly pack.
It's like this branch over here. This looks like this is my spirit guide right here. These tumbleweeds going by.
I do like how she makes fun of Giles and his hokey pokey dance.
He's very quite embarrassed of what the ritual is. I shake my gourd. And I hop in the circle and hop out of the circle.
And she just looks at him, much like she does in the wizard outfit when he just watches.
That's what it's all about.
And instead of telling her to fuck off, he tells her to go quest. Which is basically the same thing.
Right.
And now Buffybot and Spike are working out.
He's really big on the role play.
So weird. All of the things he has added to Buffy make no sense.
Yeah, I don't
They don't make any sense at all.
I don't understand why he had her programmed to go patrol.
Right.
At a certain time of day.
Right. I mean, on one hand, it's like, oh, you're like protecting the... But why? Is it to make her more realistic?
Let's give her something to do.
And then the files he gave her on her friends, as we'll see later, is very strange. The dossier that he must have on the Scoobies.
Well, I guess it's like he doesn't really care for any of them that much anyway, and so he's barely listening or paying attention to whenever anybody's around. So it's his knowledge and what he even cares about.
Limited.
Very limited. You're a carpenter.
Yeah. I love it.
You're my best friend. And recently gay. Recently.
So they're like tumbling around and struggling and fighting, and they have a cute little moment. But then she stops everything and is like, basically, the program's finished. Do you want me to start over again? And he's like, ah, damn it.
It's like when Netflix asks you, are you still watching?
It's like, please, don't.
You ruined it.
She completely destroyed the illusion. But it did not take long for him to get back into it.
I'm so put off by the fact that he took time to put a duvet on
a slab of...
Why not just bring a real bed in there? Like, he had a bed with Harmony.
No, I think that was a crypt as well.
Was it? I thought it was.
No, originally in that, the one that he crawled up, that was a bed. I don't know where that... did they blow up that place? Where is that bed? Because that duvet looks like he got it from the dump.
Mm-hmm. It's a little raggedy. Worse for wear.
Which, if that's where he gets all of his stuff, do you really want him bringing a mattress home from the dump? I'd rather sleep on the slab.
Why not just, why just scavenging? Why not just do some proper B&E? I mean,
right.
Like, you're a vampire. You have no soul right now. Who gives a crap if you go and break into a Value City and steal a whole bedroom set?
Or, can you just get a night job? I mean, just make some money. I mean, just go buy it. Places are open late. You can just buy some furniture.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Everything doesn't have to be so ratty and used.
Or kill a person that lives in an apartment and just take their shit.
Seriously. And there's got to be plenty of abandoned homes in Sunnydale with just the amount of the body count at this place.
Yeah. The gang is hanging out in Xander's apartment, which, as we know from the replacement episode earlier, he's got a very nice apartment.
He does.
And he apparently... It came furnished, right?
I think so.
Semi-furnished, maybe?
I think for the most part, furnished. He probably has, I doubt he took time to buy anything, really.
Right. And for some reason, they've left Dawn there. Sure. I guess.
I don't know what they're doing. They're, hanging out and trying to... There's going to be, a sleepover or something, and Dawn is staying over there.
Mm-hmm. And they've put a spell up, just in case Glory comes.
Right, so it's Xander and Anya and Tara and Dawn. And apparently Tara's like, oh, I don't know if I did this right. Did the spell okay? It's not as good as what Willow would do. And And Xander's like, well, maybe we could beef it up when she comes back. Like,
right?
And they can get the fucking B squad.
Right.
And Dawn steals somebody's earrings.
Klepto.
The worst kind of klepto is the ones that steals from your friends.
Right.
Like,
I think Anya had just taken them off and put them on the desk and in her back pocket.
what's the point, Dawn?
Number 1, that's your friend.
Right.
Number 2, you are so going to sit on that later and poke yourself in the ass. You know you are. And you're probably going to bend them and break them.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be worthless. Mm-hmm. And what are you going to do? Wear them in front of Anya?
And number 3, she just took those out of her ear.
Yeah.
They're not clean. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And now they've been in your butt. No. What are you going to do with that? Luckily, we go very quickly back to the Buffy bot and Spike.
Oh, it's time to slay.
They're so adorably all wrapped up, and his hair's all tousled, and they're just so cute.
They're cuddling. Mm-hmm. But she has to go out and patrol, so she goes off. And while on patrol, Xander and Anya run into the Buffy bot.
It's so weird.
And all of the weirdness. She asks Anya, how's her money? And Anya's like,
which is great. Thank you. She's super happy.
Finally, someone asked me about my interests and my needs.
She's so happy. I'm fine. It's doing fine.
So they both, Xander, they're all there talking and chatting, and then Spike comes running out of the darkness.
Really fast. Hey, wait up. You should have just left the situation alone.
Right, it would have worked itself out eventually. And so he is standing there and trying to like deflect what's going on. It's like, oh yeah, we've just been out here patrolling and blah blah blah, and like place crawling with vamps. And while he's doing this, like Buffy bot is trying to like hold his hand and like snuggle up on him, and he's like, Slayer.
And Anya and Xander are like, what the fuck is going on? This is something seriously wrong.
And lucky for Spike, vampires do show up.
Yeah.
And they all fight. And they start to fight. Finally, the fight ends, and Spike is like, me and Buffy will handle this. You guys can toddle off home. And Xander and Anya are like, okay. I mean, I'm sure Anya was like, yeah, fine, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Because she swallowed a bunch of vampire dust that she's not happy about.
And Xander goes for it, I guess. And as they're leaving, Xander notices that she did not ask about Dawn. Mm-hmm. It's like, she's acting weird. She didn't ask about Dawn. So that's weird, he thinks.
It's not weird that she didn't ask about Dawn. It's weird that she's back in town and didn't come get Dawn.
Right.
That's weird.
Home. Right. Like, there's a lot of things that were weird before
but that's not it.
You
that's
totally
what you did. Right.
Totally missed this. Speaking of the B squad. And so they double back.
Unfortunately for them.
And they catch a glimpse of the worst reenactment of sex I've ever seen.
It's so weird. It is so weird. They're both fully clothed.
Fully clothed.
Which, I mean,
I'm sure it could be done.
It could work.
But like his pants aren't even slapped.
Bunched. No.
Like, it's not.
No.
Like, just, I mean, at this point, like his penis has to be sticking straight up out of the zipper.
Right.
And that, I'm sure, is not
comfortable. No. It's so weird.
And she's like, just kind of bouncing, yeah,
but
just,
not really.
She's not very enthusiastic about
the words. He must have programmed these words.
This is what Spike wants to hear.
You're the big bad.
Oh.
Anya looks like she threw up in her brain. Like all over her brain. Xander looks both crushed, horrified, and disappointed. All wrapped up into one. Which, you guys need to address that separately.
Yeah. That's a whole different.
Right, because that's some old shit that he's still hanging on to.
Right.
But they don't confront them.
No, they don't stop it. Hey, what?
Right. Like, how long did you stand there before you were like, well, I guess we'll just go?
I probably would have been like, hey, stop.
Right.
You get off him right.
Let's
go. We are going home.
Much like he does in season 7, when they're under the influence of the jacket, and she's doing a very similar thing to a high school boy.
Yes.
And he actually says, Buffy, get off the boy. Should have done it here. But instead, he runs back to their friends, which, number one, rude. You don't put your friend's shit all out.
This is true.
Like, you just putting her all
on blast.
to the entire group.
Like, that should have been something like, look,
Right.
Buffy, you snatch her up and let's talk about this.
Right.
We don't need to let everybody know what's going on. So he goes
Rude.
and spills the tea.
And they're, at first, Tara's like, now calm down. Everybody.
When my mom died,
Right.
I did a lot of weird, like Buffy was riding Spike.
Oh, no, she's crazy. Nope.
This is inexcusable. No. We cannot.
Because then Willow's like, you're right. We need to find out what happens. And then they find out what happens. And Tara's like, oh, hell no. Something is terribly wrong with her.
This is not okay.
It is time for an intervention.
Yes.
Really? That's what the intervention's about?
I don't think they fully understand what an intervention actually is. But I feel like this is, I don't know.
Every time you don't like who Buffy's dating, you can't just have an intervention. That's not how interventions work.
You can talk to her about her behavior.
Right.
But we don't all need to come at her.
She can straight up say, fuck you.
I'll straddle who I want.
Right. Leave me alone. So then, back in the crypt, I guess, Xander's decided to go talk to Spike. This is a great idea.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Go confront Spike.
Now, if it weren't for the fact that he can't hurt him,
right,
I think Spike would have, beat the shit out of Xander and just tossed him out.
Mind your own carpenter business.
Right.
But no.
He tells Buffy to hide.
Yes.
The Buffy bot to hide.
So she toddles off, and then Xander's like, basically, Spike, you're using Buffy. You're taking advantage of her. She's feeling sad about her mom. And Spike is just like, oh, it's not. Like, she's here for some comfort. It's not, I'm not a monster.
Right.
I'm not going to turn her away. And Xander's like, yes.
That's
you are
exactly the definition of a monster.
They make monster movies about you.
And he's about to beat him up.
Yeah. Weird.
When the bumpy ones bust in. Because they've been skulking around this entire episode, following all of
these misadventures.
Yeah. They were looking at Tara, I think, at one point in at school or something, or following Willow.
Yeah.
Because she had a really strange conversation with
about
her classmate in her notes.
Right. Exactly. Don't fuck up my notes.
Don't fuck up her notes. Don't set a coffee cup down.
Don't dog ear it. Okay. So, you know what? Never mind, Will. Just take
it. Just take the notes. Just run. So there was a minion following her. Then there was a couple minions in the graveyard that also saw Buffy and with Spike.
And by if you're gonna think whichever one she's gonna treat special,
right?
She was treating Spike very special,
treating him pretty special. So they've come to Spike's because they think he is the key. They're not bright.
No.
They're not bright. So they kidnap Spike. And they beat up Xander.
Mm-hmm. Knock him out.
Yeah.
Again, Xander is knocked unconscious once more.
And the Buffy bot comes out and she's very upset.
I waited and then I missed you. So she goes off to find him.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes to Willow to help her find Spike.
Yeah. While Buffy is off in the desert.
Questing.
Meeting the first Slayer, who still has not found conditioner. Her hair is so dry.
It's very dry, but I'm concerned about the direction in which they gave this actress. She's having an actual...
What's my motivation?
Right, she's having an actual conversation with Buffy. She's telling her what she's asking, what she needs to know, but yet she's sulking her and she's very savage and just she's very. She's about to pounce on her at any moment, but the conversation doesn't lend to anything. It doesn't make me think that she is territorial in any way or about ready to attack her. So.
Unlike the last time we saw her, when she had that in the Restless episode,
right?
And she was a very guttural,
right? Now that makes sense.
Savage speak, she could barely get the words out of her mouth.
Right.
Here she sings songy and clearly a demon. Is what I always thought. This is not who it says it,
Right.
This is a representation of the first Slayer.
Right, okay.
Telling her some shit. That death is her art.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Can I... Cliff Notes?
Mm-hmm.
Can we...
I don't get it.
I don't know. So, and Buffy takes real offense to this. That is not that. Like, look, Buffy. I mean, it's a mirage. Like, you're on a quest. It's like a magical, whatever. Like, what do you want?
Just take some notes, take it back to Giles. He'll decipher it and tell you what it means.
That's fine. Just ugh. So yeah, she's very offended by all that. So as the bot and Willow are having a conversation, and this is the most robotic, superficial conversation that Willow has ever had with Buffy, and yet nothing strikes her as odd other than she's just thinking about that she was boinking Spike.
But I love the burn that they throw in on Angel. He programmed in that Angel's hair is stupid.
It sticks straight up.
He's bloody lame. And yet that doesn't even clue in Willow that something is wrong. If I were Buffy, I'd be really, really offended that her friends have no idea.
Let's just say, like, the simple fact that without knowing Buffy, when Tara first met Buffy, Faith in Buffy's body, she knew that Faith was crammed in there and that wasn't Buffy.
Right.
Couldn't get
no sign this time?
Nothing, really. Yep. All of you, none of you.
Yep. But no, not at all. So while she's talking to the Buffy bot and getting the little dig from the Buffy bot on Angel, Xander has bursted in and told everyone that Spike was kidnapped by Glory's minions. And the Buffy bot hears this and is very upset, and we have to get Spike back. And so, but they don't know how to find him. Where would you find Glory? So they all look at Buffy, and it's so cute. Why is everyone looking at me?
And then they're like, "You're right, Buffy. We shouldn't rely on just you for answers, guys."
She knows where Glory. Like, she straight up just knows where Glory lives.
Right.
So we don't want to overwhelm you.
Yeah, come on.
Fuck you guys. Like, this is what you think of me?
They didn't even occur that maybe she was under a spell.
Right.
Like, maybe not a bot. Maybe not a robot immediately, but under some sort of spell.
Nope. This is just Buffy acting out.
I would hate my friends after this.
And they bring Spike to Glory. And I love that she's just like, what the hell is that? And why is its hair that color? That could be a mini burn.
Right.
Why is your hair that color? It's so white. And these couple of, I can hear your scalp crying. It is screaming. It's so upset. But right away, Glory's like, this is not the key.
No, he's a vampire. He needs to be pure.
Right. But she can smell it, which I find, like, she sniffs him and she's like, this is a vampire.
Right.
How? Is that one of your god powers?
I guess. Just sniffing out vampires,
right.
Maybe. And Spike's like, yep, that's right. I am unpure as the yellow snow.
Right.
And I'll be seeing myself off now.
And she knows who, like, she's met him before.
That's right. They fought.
Right. She knocked him out.
Right. And so the minions are like, but wait, she treated him with highest regards. And she's like, well.
Precious.
Yes.
And she's like, huh, precious.
Well, let's see what's so fancy about this guy.
And she's going to try and peel his skin.
Poor Spike. Poor
she, like,
Spike.
drags him across the room by his lip, which that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, even just, like, her nail could have caught him in the wrong way. Ugh.
And then he's getting straddled a lot in this episode.
Yes.
She flings him on the bed and she straddles him too.
And I was wondering, I was like, what are the outtakes like with that one? Like, how?
Because she kind of like flips him on the bed, just grab. Yeah. We have to do it again. No, we're not doing it again. No. And so she's like lifting up his shirt and she's going to peel his skin off. And she wants to know if she can do it in one long strip.
Like an apple.
Like gnarl.
Ew. Yeah, we haven't gotten here yet.
No.
Gotten him yet. Gross.
Blech. We're thankfully still 2 seasons away from gnarl.
So she just crams her finger in to take a look inside to see what's like nose.
So apparently Xander doesn't keep any weapons at his house, so they have to go all the way to Buffy's house to gear up.
Why wouldn't you keep weapons? Your home has been invaded more than once.
Every one of the Scoobies should have a weapons trunk.
Yes.
Every one of them.
Yes.
Giles does.
Idiots.
His is full of axes.
Right.
Why Why do they not have one? It should be a Scooby preparedness kit.
Yes, exactly.
Steaks, garlic, axes,
Holy water,
a Zippo.
a spell book.
All the basic ingredients.
Yeah.
So when shit goes down in your house, because it
Always
probably
does.
will.
Always does.
So Buffy's going to go upstairs to change, to put on some fighting clothes. And while she's upstairs, they're kind of talking about how weird everything is. And the real Buffy comes home.
And she's like, yeah, apparently my gift is death. And they're like, that was fast. And
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Why is everything so cryptic this weekend?
And then finally it's like, they say something about you having sex with Spike. And she's like, me having the what with the who?
Yeah. And Xander's just like, I saw you with my own eyes. Basically, don't lie. And she's like, I am not having sex with Spike.
And Buffy bot strolls in. He's like,
Well, because Xander is like, I get it. I understand.
right.
He's well
compact.
muscled.
Yeah, very compact. And this is my burn pick. And so like Xander's like kind of pleading the case for why she
Right,
see
right.
why she's having sex with Spike. And Buffy's like, I'm not having sex with Spike, but I'm starting to think that you might be.
Which was a very, like, Rachel kind of dig. And I loved every second with it. Every second of it. And then the Buffy bot comes in. Who's having sex with Spike?
Spike is mine.
And everybody but Buffy is just blown away. Their minds are blown.
And Xander's like, oh, I know this. They're both Buffy. No, that's a robot, you dingus.
Yeah. And she is right away just like, seriously, you guys couldn't tell me from a robot. The fuck. I hate you all.
You're all off my Christmas list.
And Sanders, of course, talking back to the replacement episode where the demons split him in two. They're both Buffy. No. That only happened to you. No. But my random trivia of the week, this is a good time to point it out, is that apparently Nicholas was very sick during the filming of this episode.
Oh, really?
And Kelly stands in for him
Oh, really?
in a lot of it.
Oh,
It's kind of neat.
that's cool.
I like it. So they're going to go find Spike because Spike knows who the key is. And they can't just leave Spike with Glory.
Because they're convinced that Spike is going to tell.
Right. Which, fuck you guys too.
Right.
He
Like,
loves
give him some
Dawn.
respect. There's no way.
Right.
I would never think that.
No, never. But Buffy wants to kill him. And the bot wants, we have to save him. No, we're not going to save him. We're going to go kill him. Really? No, you're not.
No.
You've had plenty of chances to kill him. You're never going to. Come on.
Game?
Come on.
This is, you've had a full 4 years to kill Spike.
Right.
And so back at Glory's place, she's still torturing him. And
Yeah, he looks.
this is the worst he's ever been beaten.
Yeah.
Beaten to like this is a bloody pulp. This is what they mean by that. And he's like trying to buy time, and finally he's like, okay, the key is that guy on that game show where they guess the prices of things.
I love it so much.
And the minions are like, price is right. Bob
Barker.
We will bring you the bloodied body of Bob Barker.
And she's like, oh my God. I know you guys are dumb, but the key's not Bob Barker. Bob Barker is old as grit. The key is only a couple weeks old. Okay. So who's the youngest one that Buffy? Glory. I think you're just as dumb as your
Do
minions.
some deducing on your own.
This isn't really that. It's not that difficult to figure it out.
Right. It's just the fact that she's been in such close proximity with Dawn. Like she,
This whole time.
like, did the monks do some sort of cloaking spell on her that Glory wouldn't be able to?
Sniff her out.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks pretty new,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't figured it out.
So then Spike is very amused with himself, and this is his plan is now that he's going to try to escape with a tremendous read of Glory. Like he reads her to filth.
Well, my question that I have is, who put the hook in the ceiling that he's hanging from first? Because she's got pretty high ceilings in that apartment. What minion brought a
There was
lee
couple.
out?
No, I think it was a couple of them. Like one climbed up on top of
Just
the other.
Muppet Man style. They just climbed up each other. And he's just hanging there.
Mhm.
So he's decided that if he pisses Glory off,
She's going to hit him or kick him hard enough to get
off the hook. Would you like to read what he decided to say to her?
This is what he's telling. This is what he basically gets up. So he gets to shut up. Okay, so the god of what? Bad home perms.
She
She was like, and she's really affected by all. She's offended by all of this. She's like, "Shut up! I command you to shut up." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, sorry, but I just had no idea that gods were such prancing lightweights. Mark my words, the Slayer is going to kick your skanky, lopsided ass back."
Which she looks at her ass.
Right. Back to whatever place could take a cheap, whorish, fashion victim ex-god like you.
She's so upset, too. She's so upset. And she kicks the shit out of him.
Yes.
Like, hard.
She, like, does, like, a roundhouse kind of thing.
And he goes flying off the hook, through the door, into, like,
I
the
think it's
hallway.
an elevator, yeah.
Far.
Yeah.
And he actually... Good plan, Spike. And shit hurt.
It's like, I can't move now.
So he runs down the hallway towards the elevator, and she tells the minions to go get him. Bring him back. And he's like, no, please.
No.
I gotta get out of here. And, of course, he pries open the elevator door and just falls into the shaft.
Poor guy.
Onto the elevator below. And the minions, of course, have to run down the stairs. And the timing it couldn't have been more perfect. So Buffy really only knew the area.
Okay.
So they go to the park where she killed the snake.
Gotcha.
And somehow they deduce that
this is
the fancy apartment must be where Glory is. And there is a funny moment where the Buffy bot calls Giles.
And he's like, he didn't even bother to program my name.
Which, another funny trivia is that Joss threw that in because people would always come up to him and say that they love the show and they love Giles. Oh, you a fan of the show, but you don't even know how to say his name.
Right. Okay. So obviously you've only read his name.
Right.
Giles.
So he threw that in.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah.
So they all come together. Spike falls out of the elevator. The minions are coming down the steps, and Buffy and crew come in the front door. And it's just Fight-a-Palooza.
Fight-a-Palooza. There's kicking and punching and throwing and stabbing and all sorts of stuff happening.
And the Buffy bot is worthless. Worthless. She sees Spike. She goes over to him and immediately gets her ass knocked into the elevator and electrocuted, and she's down.
Done.
Thanks.
Okay. Super cool.
Mm-hmm. Buffy's taking care of almost everything else.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Buffy. Help. Buffy.
It's really, I mean, she does do it saving Giles, but still, it's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And then Buffy does this awesome, like, front cartwheel.
Yeah, she's doing that a lot, like the next couple episodes.
Yeah. The stunt Sophia.
Yeah.
Interesting move.
Right.
I'm not sure how effective it, like, what is actually happening? Am I getting kicked by your heels twice?
I think they're like, basically like betting on the fact that your partner, your victim will be so put off by this amazing cartwheel. Oh, what's happening? That they'll stop and pause and watch it to completion. Because otherwise, I think somebody just kind of catch your leg. Like,
Matt, what are you doing? So then they take the injured. They very easily win.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you thought that Spike knew what the key was, could maybe your star player come out of her room and maybe come downstairs and see what was going on?
Right.
But nope. She stays home and is just like, where are they?
Right. What?
This is the last time we see Jinx as well.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. We just get nameless, faceless minions from this point on. Which is kind of sad.
What happened to Jinx?
I'm wondering if he got killed in this fight.
Right.
But I'm not sure.
There's no mention of it. No sort of.
I think he maybe got kicked by that front cartwheel.
Nah.
So they take the injured Buffy bot back to the magic box, where Willow's just apparently good at robotics now.
Fascinated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she knows what she's doing. I would look at that and go,
it's broke.
I'm not touching that.
Like, it's broke, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all know this?
We can't use this. Don't use the bot. So Xander comes back to the magic box, and Buffy wants to know what they did with Spike. And she's hoping that the story has a dusty ending.
Well, why didn't you do it yourself?
Right?
You had plenty of, you could have done it there.
You could have picked him up.
Yeah.
And carried his ass back to his crypt. But no, you let Xander and Giles do it instead.
And for whatever reason, now, this is the moment, because Spike has been beaten up and he lost his favorite toy.
Yeah, what's that about?
Now Xander has some empathy for Spike.
Mm-hmm. He was thrashed.
Poor timing, Xander.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it.
As always.
Yeah, just...
Mm-hmm.
That's... And while we're... everybody is so pissed off at Spike for having this thing made. Why wasn't there a cease and desist letter sent to Warren?
Right.
There should have been...
Right.
That dude should have been brought up on charges. You are product, making a product based on my likeness and selling it. Because I'm sure Spike gave him some goods or services for that. So there should have been a lawsuit. She should have taken her ass over to Lauren's house immediately and said, I want the plans. Because she knew exactly where it came from.
She went over there to confront him about the other one.
Right.
So, little knock on the door. I would like all the plans from my bot, please.
Exactly.
Hand them over, and I'm going to destroy your basement while I'm at it.
Exactly.
But then we wouldn't have gotten the funny little side note in season 6 or 7 about Andrew or Jonathan just being pissed because he wouldn't make them Christina Ricci. Hilarious.
Christina Ricci.
Right.
I guess she was the hot thing at that point in time.
I guess. So Buffy's a little pissed at Xander for possibly suggesting
to give the bot back.
To Spike.
Xander just really wants it for himself.
Yeah. But what they need to find out, they still don't know if Spike told Glory anything. So they have to do something to figure out if he said anything.
And then
Buffy decides to be the Buffy bot. She puts on the clothes. She goes to Spike's.
You're all covered in sexy wounds.
He's like, yeah, I feel real sexy.
He is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
He is puffy and bloody and purple.
And she's like, why would you let that Glory beat you? And he explains that she wanted to know who the key is. And she's like, oh, I know who the key is. I'll just go tell her right now.
And he's like, no. Because, he will never. He's like, you're not to do that. Don't ever tell Glory who the key is. And she's like, why? And he's saying that
Buffy, the less... what does he call her? Less fun one or something
like that, yeah.
He just can't hurt another Summers. He doesn't want to. He can't do it. And that's when she kind of breaks and she kisses him.
Gives him a sweet little thank you kiss. And then he's like, what? And she walks away and he's like, and my bot? She's like, it was perverse.
It was gross.
Sick.
You're not getting that shit back.
And he's like, pouts a little bit about it.
So, yeah.
She's like, it wasn't real. But she says he promises to remember what he did for her and Dawn because that was real.
Yeah. And she's not going to forget it.
I feel like she does.
Right away. Almost right away.
Almost immediately.
Mm-hmm. But it's sweet of her to think.
Right.
Because it's really nice what he did.
It was. He didn't have to go through that. But I mean, I guess, he's a vampire. He heals quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be fine. She was, not once did she bring out a wooden stake.
No.
Or sunlight or holy water. Holy water. That should have been something like just pouring it on him. That's the form of torture that, all right, sure.
Mm-hmm. So we had 3 bodies dropped this week. 1 vampire stake by Anya, another one by the Buffy bot, and a 3rd one by Spike.
Oh, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
This does not pass the Bechdel test.
If it does, it doesn't make me feel good. I would say barely. I don't think there's any moment. Yeah, I think we'll go with a no on that one.
Yeah, it's a hard no.
And there's really no moral here.
Not really.
Well, except for know your friends.
Exactly.
And don't steal from your friends.
Right, yes. If you have a klepto problem, keep it outside of your circle, outside of the people you love and that trust you. And also, yeah, man, like really like hold in on, know when your friend is being impersonated by a robot.
Right.
Like just take a little.
If their friends acting outside themselves, say something.
Right.
They could be a robot.
To them. And don't go back and blab it out to everybody else.
Keep that shit private.
So let us know what your thoughts are on Intervention and or anything else Buffy related or in the Whedonverse, or just want to say hello. You can send us a voice message at 412-385-7250 or record an MP3 file less than a minute and email it to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com. We're going to play it on the air unless you say otherwise. So, Marcella, how's your blog doing?
I haven't done it in months.
All right.
I kind of fell out of love with it.
What happened?
It's a lot was going on. Just didn't have time for it.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking a break.
Yeah. That happens.
Yeah. I still have the Instagram page up and the Facebook page. I just haven't written anything in a while.
All right. So check out our Facebook page, Hello Marcella, and Instagram, as well as our Facebook page, Revisiting Sunnydale. And next week's episode is
Tough Love.
Tough Love. That's a good one.
It's a decent one. It's got its moments.
It's a major plot. It moves along the story.
It does.
It's necessary to move the story along.
It's a bit heavy on the Terra.
Sorry, Terra lovers. Or what are the Terra fans called? Terranatics? Terranatics?
Lovely people. They're called lovely people.
All right. So until next time, and like I said, just subscribe, follow, like us. We're on Twitter at Back to Sunnydale, or you can follow me on Twitter, Camila, at _Ragged Angel.
Or me, Marcella Demsphere 7338.
All right. Until next time. Thanks for listening.